Sky shifting at the rim, but thinning into pale cool night, folding back, cloud edges soft and white. Light lifting from the horizon, tints spreading slowly, air warming at the edge before the sun appears. Softly, 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 soft, each morning glow rising. Softly, 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 soft, horizon washed in apricot light. Warm sailing on the rooftops, color fading into gold, edges melting into warmth, sky breathing open, night losing its cool tone, windows catching tinted air, streets washed in gentle hue, light spreading clean. Curtains glowing faint, hold steady, walls turning peach and cream. So fair, resting on the sill, shade retreating from the corridors, color deepening slowly, cool replaced by warmth across the block. Peach morning glow widening, blue dissolving at the seam, light tracing narrow streets into full day. Warm sky over quiet roofs, tin resting in the air, edges bright and calm. Not sudden, not sharp, just gradual release. Color blooming outward across the east. Peach morning glow steady high, night erased behind, day fully opening in warm light, horizon washed in apricot light, edges melting into warmth, dissolving at the seam, rooftops turning gold, soft color spreading outward, windows catching early fire, streets washed in gentle tone, air warming slow, peach morning glow widening, cool replaced completely, shadows thinning at the edge, stay fully
Paper map folded at the corner, creases holding yesterday's route, ink running near the coastline, forecast written in thin blue. Cloud marks shifting to the east, wind arrows turning fast, lines drawn in steady black start to blur and bend. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, paper map weather changing. Turn it, turn it, turn it, turn it, follow where the sky clears, trace the lines across the fold, mark the shift in air, routes adjusting under light, no delay, no pause, ink against the open wind, creases flattening in the sun, forecast fading into blue, movement set and clear.
Yeah, left to the coast, right to the storm, paper bending but the direction stay warm, shift to the breeze, clouds realign, line through the center, we follow the sign, wind changing at the edge, map no longer fixed, folds opening outward toward clear ground.
Paper map where the shifting fast, sky rewriting overhead, lines no longer rigid, turning toward the light, creases flatten in the breeze, ink steady in our hands, forecast open and wide, path drawn bold and clean. Now every mark stays still. Not every cloud remains. Paper only shows the start. We move beyond the frame. Paper map weather cleared ahead. Fog spread into open sky. Root alive and bright.
Fizzing at the cap, bubbles racing to the surface. Cherry soda snapping open, sound cutting through the air. Ice shifting in the glass, syrup dark against clear ice. Carbonation rising fast, cool along the rim. Bottle tilted toward the sun, cap twisted with a snap. Pressure pressing at the seal, liquid waiting underneath. Cap flying to the floor, hold steady. Foam spilling at the lid, till slow. Bubbles climbing through red, hopping in bright daylight. Cherry soda spilling light. Surface trembling in the glass, sparkling at the edge. Ice cracking under fizz, syrup burning through sound thinning as it settles. Seal pressure held too long, released in a sharp tone. Foam rising once, then falling calm. Carbonation slowing down, bubbles shrinking small. Sweetness lingering quiet at the bottom. Fizz fading in the glass. Cherry soda cool and slow. Red catching afternoon light. Ice melting into syrup. Sounds almost gone. Surface clear and steady. Afternoon
Sun against shade, light against read. A brim cut into sunlight, shadow falling clean. Angle shifting at the brow, woven lines across the face. Glare broken into strips, air bright and thin. Thread crossing thread, pattern tied along the crown. Brim lifting with each step, sun flickering through gaps. Hand tilting the edge,
Lacing tight before the stride, rubber meeting the concrete, fabric folding at the bend, morning underfoot, stepping into open space, canvas tighten at the arch, so pacing against the grain, street steady and wide, laces crossing at the eyelets, toe resting under knot, heel tapping on some stone, crease forming near the toe, waist shifting side to side, pavement holding firm, fabric stretching slightly before the push, stride landing clean and light, rugged dragging thin lines, sings like a scene with one step, city moving slow, canvas pushing in, go on, concrete flight and one, pace settling into rhythm, steady and sure, till lifting up the curve, hold steady, shadow shifting at the side, it pays, lace and swaying, loose heel rising from the stone, fabric loosening slightly, stride gliding outward into the black, step aligning with the beat, rubber gripping both grain, morning opening ahead, canvas sneakers stay, streets smooth and clear, movement resting easy under bright air.
Grapes on the dashboard, resting still. Sunlight pooling on the vinyl. Skin tight under summer heat. Engine humming low. Light shifting at the curve. Shadow sliding near the vent. Air warming through the glass. Pulse beginning slow. Grapes on the dashboard glowing, round shapes catching heat. Grapes on the dashboard rolling, soft against the beat. Skin reflecting thin gold, fruit pressing into vinyl. Motion building quietly under open sky.
Shift to the turn, bounce at the bend, roll to the left and back again. Heat in the glass, pulse in the seats, small round rhythm under the beat.
Air thick with sunlight, grapes beginning to slide. Shadow breaking in pieces as the lane turns wide. Grapes on the dashboard moving, heat rising through the frame. Whoa, soft weight shifting forward in the summer lane. Motor lane, motor lane, round and alive in the light. Skin shining smooth. Vinyl holding steady, groove aligning true.
Small motion becomes a rhythm. Tiny roll becomes a wave. Heat pressing through the glass. We glide without a break.
Sunlight caught on every curve, fruit bright and bold, motion steady through the black, rolling in control. Grapes on the dashboard settle, heat fading into calm, heat fading into calm. Round shapes resting quiet after the long drive.
Pedals sliding toward the curb, hold steady. Dust rising at the heel, quiet sweep. Pink fading into gray, air thinning at the corner, scatter, spreading wide, soft bloom, losing shape into the blood. Sidewalk pedals, cutting motion, color shifting in the light. Stone holding the imprint of brief bloom. Pedals folding at the edge, pavement firm beneath. Contrast clear and quiet. Not meant to last long, just to mark the ground. Soft against the heart, then gone. Sidewalk pedals thinning out, color fading into gray. Story turning play. Pedals scattered in the sun street, calm and wide. Morning carrying forward without bloom.
Feel it, feel it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Bakery corner pulse rising. Feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Heat rolling from the doorway. Warm air spilling outward. Flower dust in the morning air. Window glowing gold. Corner coming alive. Dough rising on the tray. Oven ticking in low heat. Glass case shining bright. Street still half asleep. Turn of the rack. Heat in the back. Steam in the air when the doors crack. Rush at the bell. Sound in the lane. Corner awake again and again. Pulse building in the warmth. Breath quick under light. Slow rise meeting speed at the line. Hands press on the counter. Steam curls to the side. Outside footsteps gather. Time in the lights. Bakery corner, pulse expanding. Heat pushing into the street. Window bright and steady. Tempo setting clear. Warm air cutting the cold. Corner glowing strong. Oven heat behind us. Rush moving on. Slow rise in the pan. Fast rush in the lane. Inside calm and steady. Outside flame. Pulse steady in the doorway. Heat alive and bold. Corner bright with motion. Morning taking hold. Warmth spilling into light. Street turning gold. Pulse beating through the block. Strong and strong and control.
Lemon slice laid across the board. Knife edge gliding through pale rind. Juice collecting along the grain. Pulp floating in clear glass. Sunlight catching thin membranes. Sharp fin rising from the peel. Water still before the drop. Surface waiting with the color flat and calm. Flat and watch lifted from its hold, frame shifting on its hinge, stale air resting in the room, curtain hanging still, light thin along the sill. Pitch the pane outward, glass catching wooden glare, pressure building at the edge, waiting to move. Oh, 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 open, 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 let the air circulate. Push the frame wide, let the current rush in. Curtain breathing in slow waves, dust scattering in the beam, air widening through the space. Walls no longer tight, paint sliding on the clad curtain, brushing past the chair, draft moving across the desk, papers lifting at the edge, pressure leaving through the gap. Room exhaling slowly, surface cooling at the touch, air pressing through the hallway for the light. Fade held against the sky, glass catching, moving clouds, current spreading through the door, wide and clear, curtain drawn by the breeze, window swung to its eye, air no longer trapped inside the walls. Open window at the morning, hinge resting in new light, room turned outward to the street. Let the wind pass through, let the room expand, curtain rising higher, air fully awake, frame wide to the horizon, current steady and cold, open window echoing into the day.
Yeah. Morning light across thin paper, sunlight on receipts by the window, thermalink turning pale, numbers fading at the edge. Colors printed in straight lines, crease forming near the fold, heat touching every total, white surface glowing. Receipt lifted from the counter, corners curling in the air, date stamped in narrow type, price aligned in rows. Sun pressing through the glass, ink shifting under warmth, edges softening slowly in open light. Paper bright against the frame, figures thinning in the sun, numbers fading at the edge, line by line, totals losing contrast, white overtaking print, temporary marks exposed to steady. Yeah, scan the date, fold the page, print so sharp, now it fades. Thin strip caught in the light, value fixed, but the ink won't fight. Heat flattening the crease, numbers soft and blurred, paper almost weightless in the air. Sunlight resting on the lines, ink dissolving into white, transaction turned to memory under clear sky. Thin paper in the light, print faded without sound, figures no longer sharp, only brightness now.
like it no longer tight. Zip sliding down a notch, movement freer now. Stuck in lining cushion skin, sidewalk bright and white, fabric swinging with the stride. Wind easing through the block, sunrise there on the shoulders. Temperature shifting upward gradually. Warm air, bending softly, lay light against the chest. Cool no longer pressing, only drifting past. Sleeves hanging looser, color falling fast. Street bright and open. Folded once at the rail, fabric cooling slowly. Warmth no longer needed, just carry. Life jacket resting open, air mild and clear. Day fully lifted from the Mailbox in bloom beside the curb, paint warmed by sunlight. Petals brushing against the latch, stem leaning toward the street, air mild and bright, but opening along the edge, color spreading at the seam. Metal no longer bare, softened by the spring. Mailbox in bloom under blue sky, petals caught in the hinge, red against faded paint. Morning resting there, stem swaying with passing air, shadow shifting on the ground. Letters hidden behind bloom, color bright and thin, blossoms brushing the door. Steady now, mail flag angled in light, hold still, pollen settling on the rim. Petals loosening at the stem, metal warming further, contrast fading slowly into color. Mailbox in bloom by the roadside, paint softened by spring. Petals scattering gently onto the step, color rising over steel hinge, hidden by flowers, yard opening outward.
the sun, dropping the view when the rise is done. City below, but the focus stays high. Step to the edge, watch the skyline fly. Wind shifting at the shoulder, sound fading into space. Weight steady on the slab, balance held in place. Concrete firm and unmoved, sky stretching wide and thin. Contrast clear at the edge, height pulling us in. Balcony facing open blue horizon, steady and bright. City small beneath, clarity inside. Heavy below, light above, slab grounding every step, airlifting every thought. Concrete balcony, sky expanded, rail framing the view, height turning into freedom, clear and true. Yeah. Skywide beyond the slab, city fading under sun. Edge no longer narrow, open from here on.
Green light, I got it delay. Green light, I got it delay. Green light, green light, green light, green light. Signal cutting through delay. Signal shifting without warning. Crosswalk lines align. Cars waiting in a row. Engine steady at the line. Cars switching at the pole. Paws breaking into motion. Hands tightening on the wheel. Ready to release. Green traffic light glowing high. Lanes unfolding straight ahead tight. Rolling past the stripes, sound building underfoot. Signal cleared for movement. Red fading from the frame. Motion threading through the black. Streets widening fast. Blink up the light, time and precise. Line to the left, gap to the right. Switching a second, pressure release. Pulse of the city repeats. Green above the intersection. Color cutting through delay. Waiting no longer needed. Only forward now. Green light shining overhead. Lanes opening into space. Signal bright against the sky. Movement clean and clear here. Your traffic lights steady high. Pause erase behind. Road extending outward into open time. Porch steps under morning light. Wood answering underweight. Grain holding yesterday's rain. Echo resting low. Plank cool beneath the sole. Nails fixed along the seam. Rail leaning toward the yard. Shadow stretching across the boards. Foot pressing deeper. Sound folding into wood. Air still beyond the railing. Pause before the next step. Steps resting in pale air. Weight shifting heel to toe.
Orange gray rhythm in the corner, wood ringing under pressure. Slats stacked against the wall, market air moving slow. Tap once, let it carry, knock twice, hear it flip, hollow echo in the slats. Groove starting small, strike it, let it breathe. Orange gray rhythm rising, strike it, let it breathe. Pulse, building in the wood. Ooh. Stack the beat higher, slide the sound across the floor. Raw grain turning louder under open air. Flip the crate, feel the bass, slat to slat, build the space. Tap on the side, let it resound. Wood to the ground, we shape the sound. Hand steady on the edge, strike a line of time. Echo tightening, clean into one line. Orange crate rhythm catching fire. Wood shaking under light pulse, spreading through the stack. Beat locked in tight, knock driving through the frame. Raw grain ringing sharp. Stack tone climbing higher. Hollow space becomes a drum. Simple strike becomes a wave. Raw wood shaping the air into something alive. Strike it once more, slide into the break. Orange gray rhythm steady, holding the groove. Tap, carry forward, stack the sound in place. Wood ringing together, set and clear. Reset, stack it, lock in stack it, lock it. Done.
Blue mug resting in the holder, steam curling over the rim. Ceramic warm against the palm, morning air still cool. Grip tightening at the curve, glaze reflecting early light. Heat pressing through thin walls, steady and calm. Carry the warmth into motion, sip before the street unfolds. Till the cup toward the window, driving to the light. Steam fade into clear air, surface glowing soft blue. Heat lingering at the lip, engine humming low. Cup steady at the red light, wheel turning at the bend. Sip once, breathe twice, lane opening again. Ceramic cooling slowly, steam fading to a trace. Hand relaxing at the curve, pace set and short. Grip easing into rhythm, sip aligning with the beat. Morning rolling outward beyond the glass. Warmth carried through the blood, cool air brushing past. Motion steady, clean. Steam dissolving in the light, glaze quiet in the sun. Heat fading gently into the drop. Carry the last of the warmth, street widening ahead. Ceramic calm in hand. Blue mug cooling slowly, morning fully awake. Road clear and open under pale sky. Two pains catching the morning. glass resting on the counter, ice turning on the dark swirl, condensation forming at the rim, morning still and pale, cream folding into brown, drips lying down